Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the ESL Pro League for North America. Our second matchup of the evening is getting ready to begin here in just a few moments. It's going to be Splyce versus AGG Gaming. My name is Blue. Joining me here this evening is Mega Man. So let's talk a little bit about it.
Absolutely. I believe we're still just waiting on one player from AGG to get in here. Heino, however you want to say that, is their coach. So waiting on one to get in, and it is going to be Big Daddy, the one, the only ODIG that we're waiting on. Nevertheless, these two teams, Splyce recently qualified for the MLG Major. So that's big kudos to them. They were the last minute invite to it because the Mongols actually had some visa issues. And they were able to get the invite, and they actually made the qualifiers. So kudos to them. On the opposing side is going to be Team AGG, and they have struggled a little bit throughout this season. They're sitting at an 0-4 record. Now, their matches that they've lost weren't necessarily like big losses. They actually have 3 16-11 losses. 2 of those to Selfless, and 1 of those to Optic. Their other loss being 16-10 to Optic. Tonight, though, it's going to be Dust2 and Inferno between these two teams. Splyce is carrying a 1-3 record, so their Pro League experience is not too terribly much better than AGG. So this should be a pretty good matchup.
Yeah, Splyce, unfortunately, has been pretty hit or miss when it comes to their online games. They had a very good run, both at the minor along with at the major qualifiers itself. So this is definitely a team that was proven themselves on more than one occasion that they can step up to the plate big time when it comes to LAN. And they had to beat both CLG and Vexed in 2 maps to be able to make it through to the major. So they were able to sneak through there and pick up a victory. So a lot of hype behind this team recently. A lot of people probably want to know what's been going on, but I wouldn't necessarily say that because of that victory that means that they're going to outright dominate here in today's matchup. However, it's definitely one that they can take pretty likely when you consider that AGG are this new move up to the Pro League, of course, this new roster that's really pretty fresh as of a couple of months ago, just getting formed up now. So with a lot of inconsistencies still to worry about here, and generally not a whole load of very high tier and well-known players on the roster, there's a lot of issues that can come into play with that, and AGG would definitely be the weaker team in this matchup, just looking at it purely by the reputation and history behind all the players in this matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. So hopefully we'll be able to get this one going. Like I said, it's Dust2 followed by Inferno. We haven't really seen, at least AGG, I don't think, has played Dust2 yet this season, and they have not. Splyce actually hasn't played Dust2 yet this season either. They've played Cash twice, Cobble once, and Mirage once. Their one win that they do have came over Winter Fox on Cash, and Cash is actually one of those maps that we have kind of started to see Splyce kind of make their make as like their home map. But yeah, I mean, as far as Pro League is concerned, both of these teams having a little bit of a rough time to start things off. But hey, if you're going to turn around your season, there's no better time to start than now. So neither one of these two teams are out of the playoff running as of right yet. A couple more losses, and that's definitely a possibility. But they're still in the running. So if they can turn their season around now, then we could see, you know, Splyce or AGG. Who wants to see Papa ODIG on LAN? I know I do. I know I do.
Okay, well, we are live. For some reason, T's or the CTs did not want to push through the long doors. So Splyce is just hanging out right now. A bit of a reverse pyramid, but guys on AGG are just going to wrap around through CT. And it looks like we'll finally get the result we're looking for here to see who gets to start off on which side. And it looks like Splyce should be winning. I don't know what Ruru's doing. He's hiding in the corner and is now running. But there we go. Trades out 1 kill. Now he's dead. And the guys from Splyce will be able to get their side choice. More than likely going to stick to the CT side. But it wouldn't be too surprising if they started off on T, which is actually the choice they're going to make. This is a very momentum-based team. And like you've seen it if you've watched either of the LANs these two teams have attended. They're like the hype squad. They basically just try to bounce off each other. So if they get themselves going on the T side, they can hopefully use that momentum to their advantage. So not super surprising to see them starting off on the T side.
Maybe that's one of the reasons why they're not as good online as they are on LAN, is because they don't get to scream and carry on in that closed environment that is the qualifiers that they were playing at. They might not just beat you in the game, they will beat you up psychologically as well. This is one of the loudest teams on LAN that you'll ever get the pleasure of seeing, and I'm really excited for the major, but into the pistol round we go. Twist probing for some information down off of catwalk. Ruru down in mid actually got gooshed by a Glock long range, so he's going to have to take a little bit of a cheekier angle here in mid, as he is down on 34 HP. Twist is lucky that he didn't get chewed up too terribly bad at the top side of mid either, but again, just a slow start. No map control really being gained here from the terrorist side either. They've got one player down there in B tunnels right now, and if he pushes out, he might be able to spot one of these players on cap, but Ocean is watching it, and Davey might walk right into this.
Twist pushed himself forward there. Actually managed to pick up a first initial kill on Arya, but not able to fall back to Cat fast enough, so Abe's going to find the train and take him down. Still got control of mid, but Splyce have gained 0 map control still. They're still just generally sticking into their quarter of the map splits. Twist has only gone down because he overreached his bounds to find that kill on Arya. And also Ruru took quite a big hit too. He's down at 34 HP now. So he's going to be pretty weak for the rest of this round, but thankfully in an area which probably isn't going to see much action, at least for the next couple of moments here, with the rest of Splyce now going out the long doors. They're going to go for an execute here towards the A-bomb site. Trades again. L's taking down Jason R, but then Professor Chaos finds L's right back, and Davey should be able to grab this kill on Ocean. He takes him down, and the T's will get control of the A-bomb site.
And this is one of the things that we saw missing in the Winter Fox strategies time and time again, was that good smoke to cover the cross into that site. Now, granted, neither of the AGG members were over there ready for the push to come around to spot that. They're both over on Cat, but Invert and Ruru simultaneously taking down Abe and Davey. They've got a golden opportunity at this. It's going to be Professor Chaos trying to play long range with the Glock, and Ruru is going to make sure that he doesn't get anywhere, and that's just incredible. Ruru had 34 HP throughout the entirety of that round and picks up 2 of the final 3 kills.
And a big turnaround on that round as well, because AGG was looking to be in a bit of a rough spot with that 2v3, but the 2 nice pickups that they're able to find to get themselves back onto the site. Then Professor Chaos, not on point with his Glock, so not able to take those players down despite him having the plant that he wanted. And AGG will be able to start off with the rifles in hand, and quite a few of them as well. 4 rifles being invested in the second round. And we see Ocean being the single player that picks up an SMG. He's going to be able to use it quickly as Splyce are going for a full 5-man push out towards long A. Ocean finds a 2-for-1 before he's taken down, but then Abe is the one to find that trade. Twist picks up an additional kill, but Professor Chaos still able to do a little bit of work. He shuts down Twist, so it's not necessarily the cleanest round in the world for AGG. Now they seem to be wrapping things up. Ruru's going to peek out over here, finds the final pickup there to shut down Arya. But with those 4 rifles being invested, they drop 2 out of 3 of them there, and Ruru and Invert are going to be the 2 players that make it out alive at the end of the round. But they do say the 2 M4s, which of course was the bigger investment, and that's what's important.
Yeah, it's still pretty expensive, though. They're going to upgrade again here because they know Splyce got the bomb plant, didn't invest in the last round, so it's going to be AKs on the board for the terrorist side. And they reinvest into the M4s on this side, so AGG, they've got a decent buy behind this. Actually, a really good buy behind this, even though they lost 3 of the 5 guns last round and had to go for some rebuys. But again, it's going to be this long A strategy, but this aggression in mid from the AGG squad as Twist goes for that catwalk push, similar to the pistol round. And Professor Chaos is lying in wait. He's going to be able to find that Ocean, trying to take a cheeky shoulder peek there at long A, and he's going to pay the price. Jason R, he's savvy to it and finds that second frag. So it's a 3-on-5 already into this round. And AGG kind of reeling right now, and they are going to get the plant for long, and they still have 3 players down there.
Hells had moved out to look for a flank, but was unable to find really anything there before he went inside the long doors, so he sort of gave it up and fell back, and now we're actually going to see the CCTs just completely giving up on a retake since one of their players ends up going down when they start it. So they'll fall away, they'll try to save these guns. It's a 2v5, no way in hell are they going to be able to make that happen. And also a decent amount of utility still left on these guys too, but Invert catching at least one of the pickups here on display. Shuts down Professor Chaos, does give away the position of himself along with his other teammate there, as it can be safely assumed they'd be playing this together. So Splyce is now going to have to move out and try to hunt it down, but Splyce does end up winning the third round here on a force-up. So they will be able to get a first round onto the board here pretty quickly before AGG gets off to too strong of a lead.
Nice find from Invert at the end of the round to drop one more rifle out of the terrorists' hands, but they're going to have plenty of money to buy up again. And actually, Professor Chaos, who did lose that AK at the end of the round, or maybe that was Arya that went down, but Professor Chaos lost one of those guns anyway. He ends up having to go back to a Galil, and they're going to force up on the CT side, rightfully so. And we will be seeing whether or not they can do anything in this round. Ocean's going to be on a 5-7 and up for Twist. And a Famas in the hands of Ruru. And again, it's going to be this long A push. One player out in front, Jason R, going to be able to make short work of Ocean. He only had the pistol to work with, but still losing a man this early into the round, and they yield long control as well. So tough spot to start off the round for the AGG side.
Splyce is not necessarily taking a huge advantage of this kill, though. They're holding back for the most part and watching out for them to get aggressive in the exact spot where they're pushing. However, it doesn't stop them from finding kills. Invert is able to pick up Abe despite him sitting back and waiting for it. And even that position taken up by Aura, he's also not able to find a kill. Els takes him down. They've lost the bomb control. Els has a flank lined up against Davey, but not really paying attention to it, thinking somebody was going to be working their way back over there from the B courtyard. And he is knocked out by Davey finally. So they're starting to bounce back a little bit, but working a 3 versus 3, still with no bomb control. Invert finding another kill for the CTs here at the top of middle. Almost getting caught out there by Davey once again, but able to successfully dodge into the way of it by going up towards Suicide. Professor Chaos finding one good pickup, but doesn't spot Twist jumping down from Cat. It doesn't matter, though, as he takes him down. And the round goes back onto its heels once more as Invert is left alive to try and clutch out a 1v2.
This round's all over the place right now. They know Invert was at the top side of mid, so they're going to make their way in towards the A bomb site relatively quickly. He's making his way up Cat. He can get here in time to maybe do some damage. Professor Chaos very, very low. The smoke goes out, and he's going to have to push on through. Professor Chaos is ready for it. Splyce going to pick up back-to-back rounds on a 3K in the hands of Professor Chaos. He salvages an M4 upgrades from his Galil, and they move forward into a save round from the AGG side. So, perfect opportunity for Splyce to start stringing a lot of rounds and building their economy, and Davey knows it. He's on the MAC-10. He's one of the best MAC-10 players in the North American scene from what I've seen from casting their matches, so see if he can do it once again this time around. Abe's also going to have a MAC-10, so they're on a money farming mission this time around.
Davey with the quick nade going out towards the B-bomb site. Does not go through at the push, though. Just try to make some noise and see if he can catch anybody running down the tunnel themselves. But the CTs are holding back. They did go for a 3 stack on the B-bomb site, but a pretty passive one at that with the minimal investment they've brought to the table this time around. For the A site, they've gone for a fast cat maneuver to hold back any mid pressure, but the guys on Splyce have gotten used to this. They're actually sitting back now, waiting to see if the CTs are going to push it. They won't be finding anything, just running in the clock a little bit right now, and eventually we'll probably see a pretty straightforward execute from Splyce to get onto the A-bomb site.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too much of a problem for him. There's two CTs stacked up over here on Catwalk right now, and 3 over in the B-bomb site. So if they make their way up on Cat, they should be able to make pretty quick use of their firepower. That nade's pretty decent. That nade's going to do even more. And now Abe's going to come into contact. Jason R as well. Twist and L's go down. And now that A-bomb site should be open for business. A couple of players over here in mid. Professor Chaos just trying to find a headshot or 2 over in the mid corridor. As all 3 of the CTs rotating back around towards CT spawn. So not really going to be too much that they can do. And Davey on the other side of double doors, he's going to be able to line up 1. Professor Chaos picks up the other one. And now Ruber's going to go down to the MAC-10. So Davey finds 2 more MAC-10 kills. And that's going to be a $1,200 prize for him going into the next round. He's got the AWP. Yeah, look at that. He buys the AWP, $49.50 invested, didn't throw out any of the nades, saved the pistol and the armor from the last round. So he's still got $4,600 after this buy down. So that's a lot of money in the bank.
But AGG is able, I should say, to get another investment going in this round. So we'll see if they can hold things back a little better this time. Finally going to abandon the fast catting, which has been like something that we've seen in almost every single round from AGG so far. They've been really prone on getting aggressive towards mid, specifically through a cat. But it looks like this round they're going to hold that back a little bit as they went for some long pressure instead to try and hold back an early push from Splyce. Splyce not really going to be acknowledging that, just sitting back themselves. You've got Abe watching for the long door push. Most of the other players here on the T side spread pretty evenly around the map, just playing to those positions and waiting to see if AGG is going to do anything aggressive before lining up and going for a hit. But this does look like it could lead itself into a mid to B split if the current formation does not change over the next like 20 to 30 seconds or so. But it actually looks like they're going to be grouping up towards middle now, so it could be changing over to an A hit.
Yeah, they've given them cat control, so they've got an opportunity to get up here and try to find an opening pick. You do have one player watching the cross, but it's Ocean, and he's only got an M4, so if they get the AWP of Davey over there to try to pick down off a cat, but he's actually going to move around. Actually, yeah, he is going to be coming up catwalk, so they're going to lead the charge, pushing on up towards the A-bomb site. Smokes and flashes going out. Ruru getting aggressive in mid double doors, though. He might get a fast flank out on Cat, and this is going to be really dangerous for the Splyce side. And L is holding on. He finds 1 and 2. Ocean gets one from long and Ruru. There's the flank that I was talking about. Finds Jason R as Twist finishes off Abe at long A. 3-3 now. AGG picking up a gun round.
Solid hold from AGG, and very poor reactions from Splyce on trying to catch exactly what was going on there, too, and they were pushing up towards Cat. They just got ripped to shreds, and we barely saw any response. Nobody from AGG went down at all, so this is great for the CT economy and trying to build this back up. Also, now a double op setup, which I believe they've upgraded to for free by picking up one of the T's ops. Davey is going to have enough to reinvest on this because of the money they had, but actually Davey, he just got blocked on picking up a shot to whoever was sitting through the mid doors. That was Invert. He almost could have killed him, but his teammates blocked the way.
But Twist now with an op at long is going to find one onto Arya, takes him down, so that's an early pick here for the AGG side, and that's a good look for him to start things off. And now you can see they've kind of abandoned things there as they kind of probed for a little bit of information at long A and couldn't find it. And now Davey out in mid. He's not getting pressured from CT spawn. He could walk out and peek on Ocean, and he's going to at least get the leg shot, damages him, takes him down to 17. So at least puts a little bit of pressure on him.
Now Twist going to be waiting for the push to come from Cat again. He spots it, grabs the headshot on Jason R, and goes for the usual drop down, a follow-up nade. I think he's Abe down to 6 HP, and that molly might be enough to kill him. Abe's able to jump out of it just in the nick of time, but he's done some serious damage. Jason R can be proud of that. Twist now moving himself out from CT there. Ocean is able to pick up the finishing shot to take down AV, although we do see Professor Chaos responding with one pickup. That's it, though, because then Ruru and Ocean find the final 2 kills. Again, not a whole lot being found from Splyce that round, and even in terms of kills, so the TTs are going to be able to get a good chance to build up, and Splyce still no plant here either, so they're going to run out of cash on this round.
Everybody on AGG has 5 kills right now.
There you go.
Fun fact. 4-3, AGG taking back their lead. And that's going to force the save now on the Splyce side. You can see they've invested body armor on Arya and Professor Chaos to try to combat the aim punch, and Davey's going to have head armor as well. They picked up a couple of smokes and some flashes as well to work with, so we'll see if they're going to be able to lock down anything onto one of these 2 bomb sites. But again, they're spread out here on the terrorist side. 1 in lower, 1 in upper, and 3 outside of the long corridor. And they're going to throw a smoke down in towards mid. And that's going to drop on the backside of the double doors. Is that on the backside of double doors? No, that actually drops onto Xbox in middle. But a nade up to the top side of mid. That's going to do a little bit of damage onto Abe. They're pushing rapidly up catwalk. Flashbang out and around the corner actually catches him out. And now comes the smokes. We'll be seeing whether or not they can take over the A-bomb site, but they're actually abating from this. They're going to fall back off a catwalk and maybe go for a mid hit, and this is going to put a lot of pressure on Invert.
Invert's going to spot it coming, though, almost as a double lined up. Picks up 1 kill, looking for more with the CZ, but the aim is too high. So Jason R catches the trade, eliminates Invert. Els and Ruru, though, have a dual angle spray, and they just shut down the rest of this push. Professor Chaos finding one and then another through the smoke as he eliminates Els, so he's got a 1v2, 31 HP, an up-close battle, and a smoke supporting him for the time being. But his time is going to come here in a minute. He's going to get pushed from CT. One player jumping out of the smoke, and Ocean to follow suit, finishes him off, and ends the round in the favor of AGG once more. They lead 5-3. And Splyce, coming off of that round, should be able to reinvest into AKs now.
Yeah, not only that, they saved the double-up setup on the AGG side, which has been doing work so far. I mean, Twist has been able to pick up a couple of kills with it. Invert, in the last round, he got a 1-and-done, but he was able to at least hold them back on that push long enough for his teammates to rotate in and try to hold things off. So, nicely managed from them. And again, they're going to be moving forward into this next full gun round. And look at this buy here from the Splyce side. They put body armor on Professor Chaos last round. This time around, he's only able to afford a Tech 9. So maybe that extra 650 that he had could have put a Galil in his hands this time around because he was effective with it the last time that he had it, as he got that 3K in that second gun round of the matchup. So a little bit curious to see that.
So the guys on Splyce, again, lining up the stack towards middle and putting their players up for a cat push now. No commitment as of yet. Keep in mind, these guys have been pretty keen to change their minds if they want to try and go for a mid-split instead. So if they spot even anything, if they spot even a hint of something that would try to force them back to the other side, they might just bite into it there. These guys are very, very timid indeed on their ability to actually successfully take these sites. But they're holding back. They're going to wait for the smoke to fade on Cat. And they have their own lined up now to try and push them forward. I think they're just running down the timer a little bit here. Try and draw some of the players on the CT side out, but the flashes and the mollies start to throw in there. Smokes as well to get some coverage going. They're not revealing anything on the CT side of this just as of yet. They do have Els sitting back over here behind Goose, and he hasn't peeked out, but he's just destroyed by Professor Chaos on the way in. So instantly, the A-site defense goes to the floor. However, Ocean and Ruru strike right back. They finish off Professor Chaos and Arya, and Abe now moving in as Twist up in his face, but Twist can't respond quickly enough. Abe will be able to find a 1-for-1 trade, and Ruru just rolling up to the site. Another trade happens, comes down to a 2 versus 1, but Twist closes it out with the op, finishes off Davey, and AGG continues to dominate here now with a pretty confident lead at 6-3, doubling the score of Splyce.
And again, it came down to the 2 oppers alive at the end of that round for AGG, so they keep that double op setup again. And Twist, he's kind of come alive with once he got the op in his hands. He's really come alive. He's gotten a couple of 2-kill rounds with it now. I think he got 3 in the last round. Maybe it was only 2, but again, ever since he's had that op, he's really been able to do some work here for the AGG side. And Splyce again going to be back on a save. Davey goes for head armor, as well as Abe and Professor Chaos. And again, It puts Abe and Davey down at $1,500, but they do have the money bonus, so we should see a full buy coming out from them this next round. And Twist, he's going to have a lot of pressure. Oh, boy, he's pushing up at the wrong time. Going to be able to find the first one, and he actually falls out at the right time, pulls out the Tech 9, can't get the shot off. Jason R hits a nice one onto Ocean, takes him down as well, and that leaves only L's at long A to try to hold on for dear life. They're going to start to push up to get the bomb plant, and it is for Cat. Davey finds another one onto Invert.
Ruru and L's trying to pull something off now, but Ruru having trouble even getting himself back over towards Cat. And Davey and now Professor Chaos should be able to hold him back. Davey really just playing with his food now at this point. He's going to push out, finishes off Ruru. Now it's all fallen to L's, so he gets Wandy by Jason R, finished off. And Splyce, of all the rounds they choose to win, it's this one that finally ends up succeeding. And they get a double up set up on the T side for free because of this. In fact, they get a whole load of rifles for free. I think they only have to buy one of them this time. And that's good because they're still building with a fledgling economy now to strike back. It is enough, however, when you look at the very uneven economy that AGG is working with, they have to immediately go for a save because everybody except for Twist is basically broke.
Yeah. I mean, they were able to save those ops for so long, but I mean, Invert died a couple of times. He's got 2650 into this round, but the rest of them very, very low, and it's just incredible to see that, you know, they won 4 rounds in a row on the CT side, but they weren't able to really keep the economy up because some of those rounds were really, really close. You know, it came down to 2 players alive in 2 out of those 4 rounds, and that was enough to do the economical damage. So they're going to be on their, it's their turn now to save, see whether or not Splyce can chip away at that lead once again, because there really shouldn't be much that AGG can do in this round with just CZ75s and only 1 player with armor.
You say that, but you have to
We've
realize
seen crazy things in the past.
You
so
have
it's
to
always
realize
possible.
at what like level this game is right now. So it looks like Invert's going to pick up the first kill on Professor Chaos. Doesn't mean anything yet, as some good damage has been done to trade it back out. You got Twist, L's, and Invert all getting low. Ruru does find a 1-for-1 pickup. There's Twist with another one. He almost grabs another too. As he wrecks Jason R there. Thinks a little bit too heavily. And what did I just say? Anything can happen. And unless Davey pulls off this 1 versus 3, it's going to happen. And he's not, so there you go. I called it. I told you.
That's a rip. I mean, Twist again, the body armor, the head armor saves him in that round. He's able to pick up a couple of really nice shots. It would have been nuts if he hit that 90-degree snapshot on that player that was jumping up into the site, but he ended up coming back and getting him anyway, so that's pretty nuts. All right. I bow down. I bow down. I know when I've been beaten. So there you go. Right back into the double up setup, though. Twist going to have it. Invert going to have it. And again, it looks like it's going to be a very aggressive play to B, and that's a great pop flash, but he can only get 1. Ruru, Invert's going to be there as well. Jason R gets dropped, but Professor Chaos is able to trade that one immediately back. And now there's 2 ups on the terrorist side. So this is going to be a really difficult retake going into this B bomb site, especially with them having 2 ups. One's going to take it over towards the tunnels. Actually, that's Professor Chaos, who actually was the upper, at least on the denial team when he was on that roster. So definitely not a... not shy away from that up.
Down to a 3 versus 3 now. Splyce trying to hold on to this site, and AGG getting themselves up to go for a retake, but they've got nobody in the tunnel, so it's a pretty straightforward retake attempt here. Davey almost finding 2. Aria's going to be able to finish off his second target, and now it's down on Twist to retake, but he can't finish it off. Aria finishing things off quite nicely. He's going to find a 3K this round. Professor Chaos helping out with 1 pickup of his own. Splyce bounce back, and it's 7-5.
So once again, they're going to reset the economy on the AGG side. See if they decide to go for the CZ buy again. But Twist is going to pick up the Deagle this time. Actually drops a couple of P250s over to his teammates as well. So they're going to have a little bit of money to use, but not too terribly much. And that's a good start here for the terrorist side, finding not 1, but 2 wall bangs down there in mid. So Ocean and Invert going to be at half health to start off this round.
The guys from Splyce taking it a little bit slower this time around, but they've already actually got some players through the mid doors themselves. Jason R might find himself in a battle with Ocean, who's been brought down to 52 HP. Not a very hard one that he should be able to win, granted, but the rest of Splyce pushing themselves up through Cat, and Jason R just going to hold back anybody that rotates in from B. Should be able to grab Ocean, but actually, I don't think he saw him go through CT right now. So Ocean's got on a little bit of a mission, and he's managed to put some stealth cloaking on. He's jumping up, trying to find that shot on the Abe, but not going to be able to find it, so now falls back into CT. Jason R is going to finish the job that he was supposed to do. Wasn't able to finish off previously. And the rest of AGG are unfortunately nowhere near the bomb site and being held back quite nice. So they almost finish off Davey. They got him down to 1 HP. But Jason R is sort of holding the floodgates away, but he too is brought down to 2 HP. Trying to just finish off a couple of the players on Splyce, but nobody from AGG can take anybody down.
There you go. They at least get one out of that. Els is actually going to find two of them. Jason are going to re-aggress there at mid double doors, and Invert's going to go down on Cat. So it's all on Ruru. He's swinging back around from the backside. He's going to be able to find one. He could take down Professor Chaos as well. He might actually find this kill. Oh! Nice shot onto Arya. And oh, Professor Chaos does get the kill. And that would have been really risky. If they would have lost the AWP as well as him save the gun at the end of that round, that would have been nuts.
That was a nice shot, though. The walking
that was ridiculous. That shot on Arya was nuts. CT.
All right, so way too much damage done to Splyce there at the end of the round than what should have been done with P250s. So AGG aren't able to do some economical damage. The unfortunate factor, though, is that unless they win this round, it's all for naught. As we're coming up on the end of the round anyway, or the end of the half, I should say. But there's Invert finding a first pickup. Jason R bounces back, but there's a good pot flash. Ruru should be able to find 2 kills, but he can't connect the hit quickly enough on the second player, so Professor Chaos trades it, and it's down to a 3-on-3 again. Ocean sneaking up inside of the upper tunnels, but he jumps, so he's not able to aim properly, and Abe now knows of his position.
That's a great molly out through double doors. That's going to prevent any jump peeking coming out from the box side, so they're going to have to stuff 2 players up through the window again this time around. They at least do have 1 player coming around from tunnels. That was Ocean, but he's going to get caught up there, and Davey finishes off the last 2. So we're tied up 7-7. And, yeah, this one's going to be very close going into the second half regardless.
So 7-7. Of course, the reinvestment coming in from Splyce, no problem at all now that they've picked up the round. A little bit iffy, of course, because we do have to see at least, I think, 1 player is going to have to... no, everybody's able to fully buy up here, so these guys are looking fine. But for AGG, they're in a much more troublesome position. 2 scouts, 3 upgraded pistols, a deagle sitting on twists more specifically. Beyond that, though, not a whole lot that the CTs are going to be able to bring, so it's looking good for Splyce to hold a small lead coming off this half. However, we've already seen 1 eco victory from AGG, so it's not out of the question to see them steal this round away, especially with it starting off with a 1-for-1 trade and them bringing Davey down to 64 HP.
And Ruru trying to get aggressive here in mid's going to get caught out by Professor Chaos on that lower tunnel lurk. And this player in the A bomb site Ocean overextends a little bit. He's going to pay the price. There's a gap in the smoke. 1 player crosses, gets tagged. Second smoke comes out. And now Invert. He's got the ability to jump scout this one. He's actually going to lay some shots out, but he gets caught out from the side. Arya is going to take that fight, and Arya will finish it off. Finds the last 2 kills, and the half goes to Splyce, but only 1 round is the difference.
And of course, Splyce bouncing back quite nicely there at the end of that half, but showing some pretty big struggles, if I'm completely honest, at the beginning and middle portions of the half. They're trading rounds pretty consistently against AGG and losing quite a few of their takes where they had absolutely no business doing so. Having the advantage, that CZ round coming off of Twist, that was absolutely crazy from him and should not have happened. And then quite a few more, quite a couple of the cat plays that we saw Splyce try to go for there were just absolutely destroyed by AGG, and we saw almost nothing done by Splyce to counter that out. So things are not necessarily 100% secure as of yet, and with it being very close at 8-7, pending on AGG's T-sided performance here, we might be able to see a nice comeback and see these guys potentially bounce back to steal away the map here.
Yeah, so we should be going live here in just a second for you guys into the second half of this one. And remember, these 2 teams are going to be facing off on Inferno again after this is all said and done on Dust2, so make sure that you guys stick around after this match is done. It's 2 separate BO1s. It's not a BO2 or a BO3 format or anything like that, so keep that in mind. But should be getting this one live very soon for you. And we'll get to see who's going to be able to take at least a little bit of an advantage after this pistol round is all said and done, because this one is very close right now.
Absolutely. And of course, guys, don't forget that the action for Pro League is going to be continuing all throughout this week between Tuesday and Thursday for both the European and North American streams. And we also have, I don't know if EU is doing them, but I know that the North American side will be having our very, very long 6-hour streams coming up on Saturday and Sunday. So be sure to tune in for those starting at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific. I'll be running those until midnight on both Saturday and Sunday. And of course, the usual streams will still be continuing tomorrow and Thursday, the same time between 8 p.m. and midnight on the East Coast.
It's going to be a long day for us on Saturday, brother.
Yep.
Looking forward to it. It's going to be very exciting. That way, it's going to be 6 matches that we're going to be bringing you guys, and it's going to be 6 different teams, I assume. So, pretty fun stuff. Here we go, though. Into the second half pistol round. Team AGG going to be on the terrorist side now. Again, that's Invert, Ruru, Els, Twist, and Big Daddy Odig facing off against Arya, Professor Chaos, Jason R, Abe, and Davey. And they do have a little bit of long control so far, talking about AGG. And very heavy CT play over here on Cat and CT spawn.
AGG, though, ready to push themselves into the tunnels. Going to put a lot of pressure on Davey to try and hold this, and he's starting to shift away from it a little bit because of the pressure that's been applied all along there. Professor Chaos finds the first hit, but Davey spots the real take is coming. Meanwhile, the CTs are going to start to rotate in. Davey trying to keep himself alive with that smoke play, but it doesn't work out. Twist takes him down. Abe rolling in, and Gooshes Ruru down to the ground to shut him out. Still going to get himself into another duel with Invert, but doing some good damage to bring him down to 68 HP. Not only this, but Arya rolling in through the tunnel. He pulls back for whatever reason as there is pressure coming in from the other direction, but Invert still fragging. He's able to pick up Abe. L's finding another pickup for the T's here. Arya striking back. It's down to a 2 versus 2 now. Twist able to finish off one, but he himself also goes down in a 1 versus 1 situation. Jason R versus L's. L's having to switch out a pistol, and Jason R, I think, having to do the same thing. Both these guys trying to keep themselves alive, but the timer's been brought down so low. Jason R's got a kit, but miscalculates the position on L's. He's looking at the complete wrong spot right now, and L's is going to be free to push forward. However, he has started the defuse. He's going for it, and now L's dropping down, and he's just able to grab the kill. AGG win the pistol round in the second half and immediately tie things up at 8 rounds.
So nicely done from AGG. Comes down to a 1v1, but again, I mean, the big flank from Els that came back around. I was a little bit concerned at first. I didn't actually think that I thought he might not actually get there in time. I thought that the retake was going to be on and he was going to get locked out of the site and not really have an opportunity because of where that bomb was planted, tucked away in the backside of the boxes. It's a really hard angle to come in from window room and try to get that pick on that player that's defusing over there. But nevertheless, they pick it up, they tie it up 8-8, and now we get to see them on the anti-eco. And they invest heavily this time around. We saw it in the first half with, I believe it was Splyce that picked up the pistol round. And then they got all of those rifles picked up. Or no, I'm sorry, it was AGG that actually did that. And then they lost 3 guns in that ensuing anti-eco. And this is already a bad start.
1 kill being found here in the favor of Splyce. However, AGG do get themselves up onto the bomb site here, and some decent damage has been done to Arya, Jason R, and Davey. All of them forced back here. There's Jason R getting eliminated. A lot of the CTs are also pushed back here too now into very undefendable positions. So we're just going to see Twist going at it here in the mid doors area below. Middle picks up 2 kills, and now Abe. He's found that SMG, going to try to take down Twist. Twist does end up falling away from it, but Invert is going to push from Cat, I do think. Try to find Abe, and in fact, he will finish him off. So there you have it. 9-8, AGG do end up coming through with a second round victory as well.
A little bit cleaner than what they had in the first half as well. They kept 3 guns alive. So moving into this round, we are going to see another save out of the Splyce side. They didn't really invest too terribly much in that last round because I'd imagine they're probably wanting to get onto a double-up setup, but Arya is going to pick up a scout. And it's interesting because the main opper for the team now is Davey. It was kind of Arya before. We know that Professor Chaos can op as well. So it'll be interesting to see what they do decide to do if they go into that double-up setup. If it's going to be Professor Chaos and Davey that pick them up. This time around, though, Davey's showing himself a little bit too wide there at the long A corner, and he gets taken down immediately into this round by Ruru. A little bit of damage onto Invert as well, but 1 player in the pit, and Ruru, nice shot from him, finds that one. Arya drops the Twist, and this should be easy pickings now for the remaining 5 members of the AGG roster.
Professor Chaos and Abe are stuck here on the B-bomb side right now, and I believe AGG realizes where they're positioned at. They're just trying to hunt them down now. They will get the safe plan here towards A. No trouble at all, of course, in it being defused so they can move out and go for the hunt. They've just spotted the final 2, confirmed their positions. So it's all about moving in and dropping the guns. Not the biggest deal in the world if they don't manage to do that, of course, because they've only got the PT-50s, but might as well look for those kills if they can find them. However, if they've got the box into the site, no harm, no foul if they let them live, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, they are trapped in here. Abe's watching towards tunnels. Professor Chaos is watching towards window. Really tough spot. They're both at 30 HP, so pretty much a bullet will take them down. And they're just... Look at this. They're surrounded by the terrorist side right now. Completely surrounded.
Go for it, man.
I imagine they will. They'll probably push in here after time expires.
Please the crowd. There you go. Hey, see?
Oh,
not so hard. Let's go in. Don't be scared.
Daddy ocean. Ooh, baby.
So AGG get themselves off to a good lead here to start it off, but of course now Splyce get the investment. They get the op in hands over on towards Davey. It's going to be a glass cannon op, no armor being brought up behind it. And for some of these other players too, it's a fairly lackluster utility setup. Most notably looking at Arya there too, is only able to bring a smoke. So Splyce is going to be a little bit limited, but this is a very crucial point in the match, of course, as AGG will be able to take quite an astounding lead if they do manage to pick up this first gun round. Thankfully, Jason Arya's aggressive position over there towards Long does net him the first kill against Ruru. Bit of a heavy trade to his own HP down to 22, but nonetheless, it's going to hold AGG back quite a bit.
Yeah, that's a nice find at the beginning of this round. That flash is great, though. Invert gets blinded. Arya's going to go on the chase. Can Arya pick up the kill, though? Does tremendous damage on it. Well, actually, not as much as I thought. He got dinked twice through the wall, but I forgot that those are adamantium doors. So not going to find as much damage as he'd hoped. Jason R is down at 22, like you had mentioned before, and now the smoke comes out here in mid. And it looks like AGG are going to be favoring going towards that B-bomb site, and Abe is rotated off. They've got one player, Professor Chaos, close on double doors, but they're putting a lot of pressure on Davey to hold down this B-bomb site, and he's in a good spot, at least to pick up one or two, but if they smoke it out or flash out, he's going to get overwhelmed, but it looks like they're just going to dry peek it, and he spots the gun barrel, gets that opening pick. Now they explode onto the site. He misses the second shot, and it's going to be really tough for him to hold it now, but that flash is on the mark. Invert goes down as well. Professor Chaos has now joined him inside of the site, and he goes down, but again, it's down to just a 1 versus 4, and Twist not going to really find too much.
Actually runs into the iron wall. There's Abe, and he's taken out there, so Splyce will be able to win this first gun round. Very important they do this here, too, as it allows them to keep their buys rolling, and AGG were not really built up too well, so they're going to get one more buy up, and after this, they'll immediately be broken and sent on to their first eco. Should only have to go for one, though, as their money's not necessarily in an absolutely terrible position here, but this, of course, does rely on Splyce winning the second round in a row as well.
Yeah, and that's the big thing right here. And they're off to a good start. Jason R again going to find that opening pick at long A. Takes down Ocean. 4v5. A little bit of damage onto two of the players, but Davey's getting a good amount of intel, pushing up here into the B halls, so they're going to know that this is going to be an A hit. And perfect time for Arya to pounce, but Invert hits a ripper, takes him down. Professor Chaos falls, and now that A bomb site is open for business. Jason R going to be the last line of defense over here, and he needs to swing. He's going to make the push, but Twist is ready for it. Ruru finds one. Now Abe's going to be in a position that he has to save, but he's stuck in CT spawn. This is a really tough spot for him to get out from.
Yeah, Abe is probably in the most inopportune position, and unfortunately he was the only one of his teammates that did not end up going down, so he's kind of stuck in here, and I believe they know he's in this position too, or they know he's somewhere around here. They were trying to force him to try and fire a shot or two with Twist. I think he threw his pistol down there, so not going to be able to catch him just as of yet, but ultimately they've done the damage that's necessary to force Splyce back down into the dumps known as an eco. And for the rest of AGG, they'll bounce right back into the score up to 9-11 here and hold a pretty big advantage by holding this lead early on in their T-half.
Well, they're going to make the push out mid. Are they going to be able to catch him? Twist! Jumping on through. He's starting to light up here in this second half. He's at 19-12. They do manage to find that frag, and that resets the economy on the Splyce side. So 2-round lead now for AGG, moving into the 6th round of the second half, and it's going to be a save for the Splyce side. So see if they can do anything with the Deagles, or the pistols, pardon me, as it's going to be a very difficult situation for them to be in. They could go down 12-9 here.
And the guys on Splyce are just going to get aggressive this time. Davey trying to push out towards Cat, but he falls back too slowly, so he gets hit. It's down to 67 HP and has to move back with her, and he's even tapped by Nate a little bit on the way out there too, but much less damage that time around. Nonetheless, they do spot the group up here towards middle. However, that's not going to mean much, as that's a very, very typical thing to do, and they've got Professor Chaos positioned just outside the doors, so he can hear everything anyway. He's going to know which direction they're rolling, and if they... Oh! I was about to say, if they move towards him, they're going to be able to catch him. That's not even needed. They saw him through the door, and Invert just wrecks him with an op shot through it.
So, trying to slow play this one. Look at this. Davey. Oh, no. Arya was a little bit too far back, but Davey's in a good position. Jason R hits a nice shot. Invert, though, he's going to pick up 4 kills now in the round, and Abe, the last man standing, pushing up here in, I believe he's in CT spawn, trying to find his way out through this smoke, but Invert on the verge of an ace. Let's see if he can pick it up. He's got 1 to beat, and that's in CT spawn. And he's going to walk the angle. And no, Twist is going to take the ace, but 4 kills on the round for Invert. Big round for him. And a 12th round on the board for AGG. They're looking pretty solid here on their T side.
Twist as well, to note him for a second too, while we're in between rounds, has been going off here and has been pulling off some incredible plays, specifically back on that CT side. It's carrying over a little bit to this T side as well. We keep in mind just how young this player is. I believe he's 16.
Yep.
If his profile is to be believed. He might be coming up on 17 pretty soon, but this guy has actually quite a bit of skill and might end up being scouted out by some other teams if rosters get drastic over the next couple of months.
Absolutely. The big thing is he got 10 kills in the first half. Ruru led the way with 14. So far in the second half, he's 10-2. So definitely putting in a lot of work here in the second half for the AGG side. But again, you know, back into the gun round. No damage being dealt just yet. Mid control being exercised here by AGG as they push down towards the bottom side by double doors. But they're going to send 2 back over towards the B bomb side. Invert going to be leading that push. See if they can't find this AWP frag out here, because there is only rifles to contend with, and he might be able to spot out and find Abe, who's just shoulder peeking behind double stack in that B bomb site.
Splyce, you're trying to play for a retake here now too. They're basically going to let them work their way up towards A, but L's bit of a failure there as he jumps into the smoke, hoping to keep himself hidden. Doesn't really work out. Aria shuts him down, or apologies, Professor Chaos shuts him down. Aria finds another pickup onto Twist. And the T's, unfortunately, we still have the bomb sitting outside of the B tunnels. They're going to try to make this push into the B site now. They were trying to lean for this A fake, but now they've got to actually commit themselves to it. They have actually gotten everybody off the site, but they're going to give Abe enough time to just wrap back in. He spots the hit coming. He does give them the room that's needed to get onto this bomb site. Whether he lets them plant it or not is going to be a bit of a different story, as he's positioning himself just outside the door. Cannot see Invert crossing, so he will allow him to get the plant, but still it's a 2v4. So a bit of a tough situation for the guys on AGG to hold off. There's Jason R finding Ocean, and Invert follows pretty quickly after that.
Abe?
Nah, he had that calculated. It's good.
This runs into the fire. It's all right. Toasty. Making s'mores. The fire sloth, as it were. So Splyce put their 10th round on the board now. 2 behind AGG, but they've got money to buy still. And if they wanted to, they could go into a double op setup again here on the T side. But it looks like Invert, he's probably going to be the solo opper, and he is again. Twist not favoring the op in the second half, but rightfully so, because he's gotten so many kills with the AK so far in this half. So nicely done from Team AGG so far in this half. Again, I mean, that's only the second round that the CTs have won to the 5 rounds that have been put on the board here from the terrorist side. And Davey just so aggressive on Cat.
Big mistake.
Maybe a bit of a mistake.
And the worst part about that too is he like doesn't see anything. Like he doesn't catch any important intel for that too, because the long play is obvious to spot. I mean, they can read this as an A hit. But the problem is that now, unfortunately, with them taking down Davey, it's been made a bit of null with both Rudo and Els going down to Jason R there. So now the long hit's going to come in. And again, nobody looking out for a player behind the boxes up on the site. So Ari just gets a double kill with the spray, takes out Twist and Ocean, and the hit from AGG has just gone completely south. It's all up to Invert now, and he's got to work a 1v4.
And he's in a tough spot. There's a big gap in the smoke. He lines one up, finds Professor Chaos. There's another one peeking out on Cat. Oh, it's a nasty shot there on the Jason R, but Aria with the nade follows it up, takes him down, and that's a 3K on the round for Aria. Nice effort there from Invert in the long run, but it comes up a little bit short, and now it looks like AGG is going to have to save Blue.
Yep, so AGG off to a good start here in this half, but unfortunately have kind of dropped the ball as of late here, trading a couple rounds back and forth. They've given Splyce what they needed, though, to try to get themselves back to a tie situation around 12 rounds for both teams. However, keep in mind, I've already seen a couple ecos going in a fairly surprising direction, so I wouldn't call this a round as of yet that AGG are absolutely prone to lose.
So again, I mean, back onto the pistols here. Oh, that nade up mid. Holy smokes.
Now if they lose this round, it's just embarrassing.
Well, that's crazy. It almost knocked him down into like a palindrome of health. 70, 38, 13, 38, 79. Close. That would have been cool.
Most of the time, there's always at least one mountain at the edge of the valley that's taller than the other. So
somebody had to ruin it for all the rest of us.
In nature, that makes sense, I suppose. So Davey picks up a first kill on a Twist. They are going to get themselves out to the site, but the problem is they're taking a lot of heat from that molly as well. The CT is pretty passive about this. What's a bit of a mistake of mine is actually letting them get onto this site to get the plant down, and they're doing some damage. L's finding 2 kills, down to a 3 versus 2 now, but L's down to 13 HP and Ocean to 58. Ocean going to have to take the brunt of the damage now as these guys move back in for the retake, but L's trying to be secretive, doesn't really pay off. Jason R and Professor Chaos find the final 2 kills pretty quickly, and Splyce will be finding a 12th round here.
So tied up here, coming down to the wire. Only a few rounds left to play in this matchup. Very, very close. 12-12 going into the 10th round now, the second half. And finally the economy is going to be back in the favor of the terrorist side. That bomb plant definitely helped out a lot. Invert's going to have no problem getting on and up again, buying up full utility behind that as well. And the rest of them are going to have a very comfortable buy also. But AGG, they need to get back into the groove of things. They need to start picking up these rounds again if they want to close out this matchup and move on to the next map. But, ooh, that's a little bit of a miscue right there. They dropped 2 nades down into mid double doors as opposed to only throwing out the 1. So a little bit of wasted utility there in mid from the CT side.
So now AGG going for that same lineup here towards middle. Pretty typical of these teams to sort of do that, but they move pretty quickly through the mid doors. They're taking a lot of control very early on in this round, and Arya is going to have to be the main guy that tries to stop this. He's put himself in a position now just on top of the boxes, and they haven't looked for him just as yet. They're really not going to be able to see him. So there's actually a nasty crossfire potential that can be lined up. He's going to roll out. Abe really did all this damage on his own, but Arya's going to come out to help with it as well. They brought it down to just invert. He's going to look for the entry here. If he takes down Abe, he can get the bomb on the floor, but he misses the shot. A little bit too high on the aim. Abe takes him down. Abe has a pretty wild round there with 3 kills, and Splyce do take the lead.
Yeah, so they've mounted a bit of a comeback in the last couple of rounds. 4 in a row now for the Splyce side. Bringing it back into their favor. And again, it's going to be a very limited buy now here for the terrorist side. They are going to force up. Invert on a scout, a Galil in the hands of Ocean. The rest are able to pick up AKs. But look at the utility. Only 2 smokes in their hands. Barely missing that op shot is Davey in mid, too. Invert's very lucky that he didn't get taken down early on in this round.
And AGG now trying to strike back, of course, with the buy that they have this time, but such little utility. It's going to be hard to make it work, and also more nade damage rolling in here.
Is that double nade off Cat?
Yeah, those were both those guys 3 nades. So Els and Twist got hit by that. All right. And Els is now down at 13 HP, and Twist at 55. And those are 2 of the people that have actually been fairly big fraggers so far in this matchup. Twist most notably as well. So if those guys get taken down early because of that, not a very good thing. And you're going to be relying on Invert once again to do the impact. But he's only going to scout this round. So not expecting too much from him.
Yeah, and I like this Cat play that they have here on the CT side. The high-low stack, very nostalgic. They're going to push on out mid. They actually pushed the Molotov. They're not accounting for this player to be up in window, and Abe and Professor Chaos split it. Abe's going to roll back on in. He's going to find one. That nade does good damage to Ruru. And coming out from lower B is going to be Els, trying to play this little bit of a lurk roll, but he's going to get found out. I'm surprised Davey actually missed that shot. Doesn't realize that he's maybe as low as he is. Oh, that flash is on the money, though. And shouldn't be too hard for them to finish this one off.
Did they not? I don't think they're looking in the tunnels right now. Oh, I guess they're trying to figure out if he fell back or not. But he's being pretty loud, so Davey should be able to communicate this. Apparently not.
Davey doesn't want to give up the op. I don't think he realizes that he's as low as he actually is. And L's going to try to pre-fire the corner. Davey's going to hit the no-scope, and 14-12 now. 2 points away, 2 rounds away from victory, our Splyce.
And now here's the big turning point for AGG too, because they still have enough to go for the investment, but the problem with it is that for another time here, they're not really going to have any utility sitting behind it. The entries have to be on point right here if they want to try to get themselves into this round and close it out to try and bounce back, because otherwise they're just going to run themselves out of cash. They've got the full losing bonus already here too, so if they can get a plant, we might be able to see another investment in the next round, but then we're going to have to see 3 rounds straight from these guys, and that is where the problem may come in, because Splyce has been trading pretty consistently. Davey finds the first blow there onto Els. Els peeks a little bit too early there, doesn't wait for the smoke to plume. Davey finds the second kill. Invert finally finding one for AGG, but the damage has already been done, and Invert just walks through a molly, so he's killed by Abe. And already, this entire take is gone to the water as Ari and Davey find the final 2 pickups with barely any damage being done to Splyce at all. It looks like Splyce has finally retained control, and assuming they don't have any problems with this last force-up from AGG, they'll be taking the first map.
Yeah, nothing feels worse than running through that smoke and finding yourself lost in fire. A little unfortunate there. Death beyond the grave from Abe that round. He's only gotten 15 kills, but some of the kills that he's gotten have been of the utmost importance, and last chance to dance now here for AGG, potentially. They're going to buy up 4 AKs and a Galil and try to work with this one this time around, but still going to be a very tough situation. Deep smoke into the tunnels at long A. That's going to put Ruru behind that smoke. Jason R playing the angle. Professor Chaos playing the bait and switch. And potentially going to go for a trade kill here at long A, but that smoke going to bid him back for a little while longer. That's a good nade. Well, I thought it was going to be a good nade.
You know, CS physics.
I thought it'd be gooder.
It's okay. Whenever a nade has to bounce, don't ever assume it's going to be a good nade.
True. Very true.
Unless it's being thrown directly on target, and even then, it's like a
Or
70.
anytime there's a rock on the ground.
There's a 50% chance it's gonna do something weird and miss completely, because a rock equals a wall according to CS physics.
Yep. CSGO. So again, Ruru at long A, he's tempting the Fates right now. They are going to push on out. Oh, he peeks it without the flash, but they... Well, all right. Jason R picks up one, but his teammate decides that he's outlived his usefulness and takes him down. Arya picks up two. Abe and Professor Chaos finish off the last two, and that's going to be the round. That's going to be the match, and that's going to be a 16-12 victory now for the Splyce side. So GGs are exchanged.
Arya actually got a pretty nice spray transfer there too to pick up two. I think they were both headshots there as the players from AGG were trying to push that ledge. So good shutdown there and good retaining of control of Splyce. It was looking like it was getting out of hand there in the second half for a little bit, but they got it back and kind of shut down AGG. I don't know if they just broke their momentum completely and they were never able to recover or something else happened, but for whatever reason, the entire AGG were looking good on their takes early on in the half, but it just completely got dropped as we got later on there to when we saw Splyce consistently picking up like 5-6 rounds in a row. I think they have ended with 7 in a row there. So anyway, that is going to end the first map. I believe Inferno is our second one, and it should be coming up as soon as possible, guys. So stick around, got some commercials and whatnot to run really quickly, and as soon as we're back, we'll have the second map between these two teams.